All right, so what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another recap. I did say I was going to be consistent to it, so I will be consistent to it like I promised you guys. So let's just get right on. But before we do, I do want to give a recap of how we ended yesterday. So yesterday we ended pretty much with SPY, the Qs, the Dow. I don't even want to say the Dow broke out, but SPY and the Qs were pretty much pinned against supply. It was pretty much do or die today, and honestly, the Bulls stepped up. The Bulls stepped up really, really well. And Google, if I could be honest, saved the Bulls with this stock split because we could possibly see Google, do what every other stock does when they have a stock split. Rip, completely senseless action, just go up and then carry the whole market with it. So fun, well, not fun, but the good part of this is that we may have not so choppy February with the whole Fed meeting thing in March and all that crap. So let's see what we really get. But let's first recap what a wonderful day this was for anybody that was bull bias and for anybody that was short bias. Sucks, brother. I know what this feels like. But it was very I don't even want to say eye-opening because nothing about today was eye-opening, but it was another session that overnight gave us a assessment on how it was gonna be, and then by the end, I think we pretty much saw just how fundamental events like earnings and whatnot can pretty much just move the market on its own and create this sort of euphoria feeling. So, with that being said, let's go to the open. So at the open today, we pretty much we had somewhat gapped up, more or less, but let me talk about overnight. Overnight futures was basically, if I remember correctly, let's just go into the US 100 right here. And let's see. Let's talk about how it was. So let's see. I think this was already by 6 p.m. Blah, blah. Right here, we approached 3 a.m. So this is the spot that I like. So right here, Asia's closed at around 2 a.m. Big old green candle on the way up. Started chopping around in range, but still, decent points where somebody would have, made some good money. 14,963, you would have made, maybe 60 points, more or less. It's not that bad. And then boom, back up, back down, but still, it was just a little choppy range, right? It wasn't our usual just big green, big red chop, which is horrible. It was a range traded session that was choppy. So going into the open, I literally said it. I told everybody, I was like, let's see, where is it? Oh my god, I can't find it. Tip into today. Overnight session was a mess. Although moves were given, the session were still not a trend-based one. Very important. Overnight was not a trend-based session. It was a range-based session. Be careful today and focus on cash flow to build that cushion of profit so you can risk more as the month progresses. Remember, today is a clean slate. This is very important aside from it being a new month. But the main thing that I want everybody to remember is overnight futures were not in a trend-based environment. There was no trend given. There was no, the Asia moved red and then London went green, or Asia moved green and London went red. There was no trend-based setup. It was just a range-traded session. So with that being said, we pretty much could have already expected a choppy day today, which again, I expected it. I just didn't expect the open to go as follows. So near the open, I was watching, I think, Apple and NVIDIA. Look, NVIDIA was pretty much breaking a 4-hour downtrend with pre-market action. And then Apple just back-to-back, pretty a downtrend break. Was it? Downtrend break on Friday, and then yesterday a nice, green day. So one could think, okay, with rising support, this might give us a very nice bounce into the opening. So very nice. Everything was happening. The bell rang, ding, ding, ding. Everything was going well. And then as soon as I tilt my head, I look at the Qs. And I see SPY. SPY, did this little wick. And I'm like, okay, SPY's about to go green. The Dow is already moving green. And I look to the side and I see the Qs. And I'm like, what is this? And I know I wasn't on live with Potter Stocks, or you guys don't have Garrett. And I told him, I'm like, bro, the Qs are pretty much flushing, and SPY and the Dow are trying to give a trade, and the Qs are all over the place. He was actually watching Disney, and what was funny was that Disney is a main contender with the Dow and SPY. If the Dow and SPY are moving together, there's a good chance that Mickey Mouse is somewhere rolling in all his money. And that is exactly what we saw. But it was so choppy because of the Nasdaq just falling that it was messing with, the SPY and the Dow, that Disney was just up, down, up, down, up. It was the craziest thing ever. But at some point, Disney found its bid. The Nasdaq decided to stop messing with everybody's setup and then decided to move. It was sad because I missed on my Nvidia trade. It never happened. My Apple trade didn't really get that much of a bounce that I would want. So it was just a senseless trade. So I pretty much didn't really trade in the options account versus the FX account, where I got a couple points on the Dow and I think the Nasdaq, and then that's pretty much it. I made my gains there, my daily gains. I just walked away, and it was what it was. But speaking overnight, one thing I want to say, if you look, you don't have to trade overnight. You don't have to trade futures. You don't have to trade anything. But if you can literally take time out of your day to sit down, look at the overnight, right? What happened at Asia's Open and what happened at London's Open. Well, if you can take the time to literally do this and stay consistently doing this, you can have a bit of an advantage going into the session. You can have an idea of how overnight was. So if you're biased in whatever reason, you could have another confirmation. Is overnight with your biasness? Yes, no, whatever it is, then so on and so forth. But enough of that. Let's move on to the second elephant in the room, which was earnings. And by earnings, I mean Google. So as I stated earlier, Google will most likely help us and give us a nice trend setup. The Qs is probably just going to, rocket from here. We're pretty much well above our 200-day at this point, as we can all see right here. So let's talk about what happened. So we pretty much gapped into the open, right? We came down. We had this little ticky action, if you want to call it. And then we finally caught our bid at around 359, and then we just started, playing around, and then we ended above the 200-day EMA, but we are still below, and we rejected the 20-day at 366 and the 200-day at 366 as well. So 366.33 is the 20-day EMA, and the 200-day SMA is at 366.03. So that is the first thing that happened. So Google surprised everybody. So now, obviously, we're not gonna open here. Now we're already by. Look at after hours. We're already by here on the Q. So if you are biased to downside, I mean, I think this might be your wake up call. We remember Nvidia split, Apple split, Tesla split. They ran, and to add, even more heat, more wood to the fire. If by some chance in hell, Amazon decides to stock split when they report their earnings, it's not. Every bear on side, go back to the mountains, go to sleep. The Bulls won. Come on, my brothers. No point. But, going to tomorrow, I will say, at least from the tech perspective, we might see a continuation into this. If we see a sell-off, I will be shocked out of my mind. I probably will get up and go feed the pigeons in the park or something, because I don't know what to do at that point. But let's move on to SPY. So SPY, look at this. SPY completely just, God, this thing doesn't care about anybody but itself. Right above the 20-day EMA. It's, there's still a bit of supply here, but these are just going to be confirmation levels moving forward, right? So obviously we're going to confirm that 455 level. Once we confirm that 455 level, we'll move up into our 457 and whatnot, and we'll just continue building up on all of these moving averages. So remember, EMAs will be the thicker lines and the thinner lines are SMA. I use a combination of both. So that is where we stand with that. Let's look at some individual names. I haven't even checked them out myself, but I do want to speak on this little gem right here. Netflix. Man, Bill Ackman bought the dip, and this guy's already up 25%. Wow. If I was one of his investors, I'd be so happy right now. I love this man. I would literally get him a Christmas gift, a Valentine's gift, any gift occasion there is. I will give something to this man because he just apparently prints money. So Netflix, crazy day yesterday, crazy day today. Just looks like it's continuously going and going. It's filling this ER gap. It still has room all the way to like 508. So if I can be honest, I think this is a very nice continuation trade for tomorrow. And this is the only one that I'm gonna speak of, just because I don't really want to talk about equity names. I have not been that happy with how equity names have been trading in a while. So I am gonna be sticking more to indices and whatnot this month specifically. So my recaps, I'm still gonna talk about equity trades. I'm still gonna talk about, you know, my watches, equity watches and whatnot. But I personally, I will not be trading them with options. I just want to take a little bit of a break from options just this month as it is, and just give more time into, you know, my index trading. Mostly because I enjoy it more. If I can be honest with you, I enjoy it a lot more. So it just is what it is. Everybody has their own way of trading, their own path. Well, this is mine. I do love trading. And this is the Dow and the Nasdaq. Not SPX. It moves way too slow. I have to go way too heavy on that thing. But the Nasdaq and the Dow, it's godsend gifts. Godsend gifts completely. But Netflix tomorrow. I mean, considering everything that it's in and how it's moving, this I think will be a very nice contender for a, you know, rising 60-minute support bounce. You know, if you are in my Discord, I have an intermediate techniques. I have a video posted of fib retracements. So here for you guys that are not in and whoever's watching, just a little example. Fibs can always be used for whatever really points. So if I'm going into tomorrow and I'm going to look for a bounce on Netflix, I'm going to plot this low more or less, and then I'm going to plot whatever pre-market high. Let's say the pre-market high is here. You know, you can use our regular fib levels here for potential bounces into the next session. So just a tip for everybody that is not a wow. I just realized I plotted this wrong. I'm so used to the negative 17 and 27. How embarrassing! But there we go. That's way better. But if you are if you're not in the Discord, I will post the link. Check it out. Our educational is free. There are videos that I personally have made. I will look to remake them possibly and then incorporate them into the YouTube as times goes on. But for now, they're all there for anybody that wants to check them out. So, you know, going forward into tomorrow, guys, I will say anybody that's still short bias, you have to again start zooming out a bit. We are reclaiming very aggressive levels, right, that are resistance, and now we're just accepting them back in, and we are going to start turning them into support. As long as that happens, we're going to continue higher. As long as we keep making, you know, higher lows, we're going to continue higher. So keep this in mind. I know that it's fun being short. It's fun, you know, the VIX rising and all that panic move, but you have to take into consideration what the market is doing and how the market is trading, right? You can't be completely biased into whatever, you know, scenario you have made up in your head because you think that, you know, the market is overpriced and it's going to fall. Listen, my nephew is 4, guys. He knows that the market is overpriced, but he's not telling me, uncle, short everything. No, he doesn't even have any idea what the hell short even means. He thinks it's probably just, you know, wardrobe, clothing, shorts. That's what he thinks. But if I can be honest with you guys, don't be biased anymore. Trade the charts. I literally said this on my Instagram yesterday. You know, if you're a day trader, you care about what happened yesterday, what happened today, what's gonna happen tomorrow. You don't care about what's gonna happen in 2 weeks. If you're a long-term investor, brother, just, you know, a wake-up call, brother or sister, just a wake-up call. If you invested your money in very nice companies, a very strong company, why are you worried? You know, just relax, enjoy it. The market cycles. Don't fall for this volatility shit. Don't get shaken out. Just relax and stop panicking, right? You have 3, 4, 5 years. You listen, you don't have time decay. You're not losing money from time passing. So just relax and let the equity do its thing. Let the company do its thing, right? If you're in growth names that you bought at the top, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. If you bought at the bottom and, you know, you see your gains disappear and you're thinking to yourself, shit, this is never going to go back. Listen, if the company is good, yes, it is. It's just growth took off for X reasons that everybody knows what was happening. The economy was going through pretty much steroids. The economy was shooting up steroids at that point. So you have to just accept the fact that if you invested in great companies, those great companies will reward you. If you invested in shitty companies, then those shitty companies will show you how shitty they can be. So honestly, if long term, just diamond hands, bro. If you're in a good company, you're good. If short term, trade the charts. Stop being biased. Stop letting what you feel is gonna happen dictate your feelings in the market, bro. Listen, you're missing out on so much money. And it's crazy. Why are you missing out on money when you could be making money? So that's just what it is, guys. That's all for today. I hope the recap helps. It's gonna be very interesting to see how overnight futures move and seeing how we set up pretty much for tomorrow. I want to see if Asia or London they accept any of this inventory or reject it, but I do want to see a trend given out. If I see more chop, then obviously tomorrow's gonna be exactly the same. So have a good night or good day wherever you guys are at, and I hope you guys are tuned in for the next video. Bye.